ಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಆ ಲೇಯರ್ಗೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು ಯಾವುದು? ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ವಾಭಾವಿಕ ಸಸ್ಯವರ್ಗ. ಈ ಬೇರುಗಳು ಬೇರುಗಳಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಶಕ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಯಾಪ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಬಾಟ್ನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ.
Always a debate between the plumbing team and the air conditioning team on water qualities. All these things, by metering, monitoring, and proper coordination, can be eliminated properly.
బిల్డింగ్ కానీ ఒక కట్టడాల్లో కానీ దానికి ఎంత శ్రద్ధ జాగ్రత్తగా తీసుకోవాలి అన్న దాని దగ్గర నుంచి ఇందులో ఉన్నటువంటి ప్రతి ఒక్కళ్ళు భాగస్వాములే. ఒత్తి ప్లంబర్లే కాకుండా ఇంజనీర్లు, ఆర్కిటెక్ట్లు, బిల్డర్స్, అందులో ఉండేటువంటి మనం ఉండేటువంటి వాళ్ళందరం బిల్డింగ్ తాలూకా ఆరోగ్యరీత్యా చూసుకుంటే ప్లంబింగ్కి చాలా చాలా ఇంపార్టెన్స్ ఉంటుందండి. ఇప్పుడు దాంట్లో బాగా సైంటిఫిక్ మెథడ్స్, కొత్త మెటీరియల్ రావడం ఇవన్నీ జరిగి
So आपली जी इंटरॅक्शन आहे ही कशा पद्धतीची जाते आणि टू अवॉइड द डिप्लेशन और डिग्रेडेशन ऑफ नॅचरल रिसोर्सेस. अनफॉर्च्युनेटली इनफ म्हणजे आपल्याकडे दुर्दैवाने असं होतं की आपण यालाच विसरून जातो. मी गावाचं नाव नाही सांगत कारण गावाचं नाव सांगून गावाची बदनामी होईल, पण मी मध्य प्रदेश मधल्या एका गावात होतो इथपर्यंत मी सांगू शकतो. मला गाव म्हणजे शहर होतं.
સંચાલન કઈ રીતે કરવું જોઈએ તેનું જ્ઞાન ડોક્ટર સાહેબ પાસેથી મેળવીએ. ઓવર ટુ ડોક્ટર રાજેન્દ્ર સિંહ.
आप सबको नमस्कार. आप सब जानते हैं कि क्योंकि आप पानी के काम में जुड़े हैं, इसलिए आप सबको मालूम है कि जो 21वीं शताब्दी है
जो कि निषेधात्मक, संशोधनात्मक या दंडात्मक है, उसमें जल की आवश्यकताओं को घटाना अथवा विलोपन करना, जहां जरूरत नहीं है वहां बिल्कुल काम में मत दीजिएगा. मैं प्रयास करूंगा थोड़ी सी बात और भी आगे बताने की. जल का दुरुपयोग और प्रदूषण घटाना, उच्छिष्ट या प्रदूषित जल का समुचित उपचार करके
I would like to tell all of you that we are also live on Facebook. So any of the people who have not been able to register can also watch this webinar live on Facebook. We would be starting in a few minutes. So I would request all of you to please be on mute.
Nivedita, Mr. Mishra has also joined. Good evening, Mr. Mishra. I think let's start now.
Good evening.
Yes,
Good evening.
Yes. So to start the webinar. First of all, happy World Plumbing Day to all of you. And we welcome you all in this national webinar of IPA to commemorate the World Plumbing Day and IPA Founders Day. So to start the webinar, I would like to request all of you to rise for the national anthem, please.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
Thank you, everyone.
Good evening, everyone. I am Rahul Dadfre, a convener of WPD Celebrations, is here to welcome you all for the national webinar on effect of pandemic on water use pattern and bringing focus back to save water. I thank the entire IPA for working very hard to make this event a success. Even in this pandemic period, we have celebrated World Plumbing Day with 7 webinars in regional languages such as Malayalam, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Marathi, Gujarati, Hindi, where we could reach out to almost 1,000 attendees. We also conducted a social media contest on Be a Water Crusader. 57 participated in this social media contest, and the contents were so inspiring that even videos on water savings were retweeted on international level. Winners of this contest will be declared in today's function. For almost a year now, water saving has taken a back seat because of pandemic. But as vaccination has started and we are moving towards a normalcy, it's time to put our focus back to water savings, which is today's topic. I welcome Mr. Avinash Mishra, Advisor Niti Aayog Government of India, who is chief guest of today's function. I welcome Mr. Kevin Wellman, Director World Plumbing Council and CEO Chartered Institute of Plumbing and Heating Engineers, who is joining us from London. I also welcome Shri S.G. Devlalikar, IPA founder on Founders Day, to bless us. I welcome all my NEB colleagues, friends from NEC, all chapter executives, IPA members, and IPA future members attending this WPD and Founders Day celebrations. I also welcome Mr. Ramesh Baliga, CEO WaterTech, sponsors of today, and Viola Giacomo, from who is the director of Oli Group, who is joining us from Milan, Italy. I hand over mic to Mr. Minesh Shah, Master of Ceremony, for today's function. Over to Minesh.
Thanks, Rahul, for a wonderful welcome speech and giving an overview of the World Plumbing Day celebrations been undertaken by IPA across the country. To start with, I'll first of all like to read out one letter which I have received from one of my closest friends. It says, "Dear friend, I am the first one about whom you should think of when you enter that small room. But unfortunately, you are busy scrolling down while your eyes are rolling and thumb is continuously working on the scrolls. Keeping the scroll box aside with half heart, you lazily pick up the brush, spread the toothpaste on it, and start brushing. And once again, you pick the scroll box and your eyes get stuck on an interesting meme. Having the scroll box in one hand and smiling to yourself, you open the tap and hush. There comes a heavy sound, and what next? It's just air. You rotate the tap clockwise, anti-clockwise, you thump it hard. Unfortunately, it's just hush and nothing else. You run to the kitchen, check the tap, you run to other room, you check and you panic. You don't find me anywhere. You are too confused. You call up your friend. Even he says that when you opened the tap this morning, a heavy blow of air came up. You thought it might be possible that I didn't come your way today. You run down, check with your neighbors. However, it isn't of any use. Everyone is giving you the same answer. You realize, I'm gone, I'm gone, I'm gone forever. I won't return back. There was a time when you used to get me for free. You used to waste me because you did find me worthy. But today, I'm gone forever. Maybe you will have to pay the highest price to buy me. Maybe you don't earn enough to buy me too. Maybe you have to live without me for your whole life. From your this was from my never returning friend, Water. Now, this is just a fictional letter that Water may write to any one of us. Unfortunately, Water would not be able to do so still. What if this happens in reality? Have you ever imagined? What if you don't even have a drop of water to drink? What if your throat goes dry, you are unable to speak, and you die? Let us not pledge and forget. Let us keep the pledge. Let us save water. May it be just a drop, but let us save it. Let us keep it for years and come. Let us don't force the universe to destroy it over resources and leave us starving. As people say, millions have lived without love, but none without water. With this small letter, a great message of saving the water, we start our today's webinar on an important topic, effect of pandemic on water use pattern, and bringing the focus back to saving water on this important day of World Plumbing Day and an IPA Founders Day. 11th March has been celebrated as the World Plumbing Day across the globe. World Plumbing Council started this in the year 2010, and since then, IPA has been celebrating this World Plumbing Day every year across all its chapters. Eventually, today is also the IPA's Founders Day, so we are having a joint celebration with this webinar. With this, I'll invite our National President, Mr. Gurmeet Singh, to give his presidential address.
Thank you, Mahesh. Thank you very much. You spoke very well. Mr. Avinash Mishra, Advisor, Niti Udyog, Mr. Kevin Wellman, Director, WPC, and Mr. S.G. Dolalikar, our founder. I would like to thank the coronavirus 2019 for shaking us up and showing us that we are dependent on something much bigger than we think. Thank you, God, for making us appreciate the luxury we lived in, abundance of products, freedom, health, all the things that we were taking for granted. Thank you for stopping us to make us see how lost we were in the busyness, not having time for the basic things of life and for humanity. Thank you for allowing us to put aside all our problems we thought was so very important to all of us. In fact, for showing us what is actually important in our lives today. Thank you for stopping the transportation system. The earth was begging us to look at the pollution for a very, very long time, but we did not listen. Thank you for all the fear. It has been a global disease for years. A big disease called stress, a disease to mistreat our resources, a disease to plunder Mother Earth, and a disease to treat water with disrespect. But not many of us wanted to face this situation and scenario. But now we have to face it, learn how to embrace it with love, with the support not only of our community, of our city, our state, our country, and our world together. Thank you for this re-evaluation of our lives. Thank you as we finally understand what it means that we are all connected, not only connected in the Indian Plumbing Association, not only connected in the World Plumbing Council, but connected by a virus. We knew the world had to change. Thank you for helping us to undermine everything and giving us a chance to again appreciate the things that are given to us free. Water, the sky, the air we breathe, the sunlight, and the Mother Earth. Jal, Vayu, Agni, Akash, or Dharti, the combined 5 elements of nature. This virus is part of us. It is our creation. It is between and in us because it connected us all physically or energetically. Gratitude supports the immune system, but also lets us see things from many different perspectives. It is up to us which perspective and which path we now choose, but best be aware of all of them. Let us be grateful that the coronavirus made us think of the over-exploitation we are doing of the water provided to us free by nature. One virus shook us all up and at least made us think of the over-plundering that we were all part of. Let us now change course and ensure that as a plumbing and water community, learn and imbibe in protecting water, which is the largest necessity of our lives. Let us pledge on World Plumbing Day to be the change and to ensure that our friends, neighbors, and community and our world protects this depleting resource. This is our responsibility together. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish our family of 5,000 plus of IPA members a very happy World Plumbing and Founders Day. World Plumbing Day is an international event initiated by the World Plumbing Council, held on 11th of March each year to recognize the important role plumbing plays in our society's health and well-being. The WPC, through its member countries and its partnerships with bodies like the WHO, works all year round to promote the benefits of safe plumbing, but in 2010 decided to launch the concept of embedding a single day on the world's calendar dedicated to plumbing. The idea was that on March 11th each year, people from all over the world would pause to reflect on the vital role plumbing plays in preserving their health and the way of life, in the case of countries like ours, or in building sustainable disease-free futures for billions of people in the developing world. And so World Plumbing Day was born, and it is getting bigger and bigger, as we all know, as we speak, even in India. Blood donation drives, student chapter launches, painting and drawing competitions, plumbing training programs, especially for ladies. And in fact, this year we had technical webinars in various regional languages, as we just saw. Congratulations to all my 23 chapter chairmen and executive councils for taking this forward and celebrating World Plumbing Day in a very big way. Today on the continents of Europe, Australia, Africa and Asia, we all are celebrating World Plumbing Day on March 11th. As you are aware, World Plumbing Day recognizes the critical link between health and plumbing facilities. Indeed, the bathroom plays a significant role in maintaining our health all around the world, other than the peace it gives us from our spouses. Everybody understands the role of sanitized plumbing solutions to cut germs in their life. Am I audible?
Yes,
sir.
Signal
Yeah.
got disrupted in
Had gone off. 70% of the communicable disease is communicated through bad quality of plumbing. Diarrhea, typhoid, malaria, leptospirosis, amniosis, dengue, cholera are some of the vector-borne and waterborne diseases known to us most commonly. More so, the coronavirus has taught us the need for hand washing, hygiene, and disinfection. And this is only possible if we have adequate and clean water. And therefore, it is our responsibility to protect whatever water we have today. Did you know today 1 in 3 people live without safe drinking water? By 2050, up to 5.7 billion people could be living in areas where water is scarce for at least 1 month a year. Climate resilient water supply and sanitation could save the lives of more than 360,000 infants every year. If we limit global warming to 1.5 degrees centigrade above pre-industrial levels, we could cut climate-induced water stress by up to 50%. Extreme weather has caused more than 90% of major disasters over the last decade. By 2040, global energy demand is projected to increase by over 25% and water demand expected to increase by more than 50%. As we know, we are going to touch 8 billion population. 70% of the water is still required for agriculture. A shortage of water means a shortage of food. World Plumbing Day celebrates water and raises awareness of the 2.2 billion people living without access to safe water. It is about taking action to tackle the global water crisis together. A core focus of World Plumbing Day is to support the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goal number 6, water and sanitation for all by 2030. World Plumbing Day is all about water and plumbing and climate change and how these three are linked together. The day shows how our use of water will help reduce floods, droughts, scarcity and pollution and will help fight climate change itself. By adapting to the water effects of climate change, we will protect health and save millions of lives. And by using water more efficiently, we will reduce greenhouse gas emissions. In Antonio Guterres' own words, the UN Secretary General, I quote, "I call upon all stakeholders to increase climate action and invest in robust adaptation. Measures for water sustainability. By limiting global heating to 1.5 degrees Celsius, the world will be in a much better position to manage and solve the water crisis that we all face." I would like to end my deliberation by a quote from Mr. John W. Gardner, which says, "The society which scorns excellence in plumbing as a humble activity and tolerates shoddiness in philosophy because it is an exalted activity will have neither good plumbing nor good philosophy. Neither its pipes nor its theories will hold water." Thank you very much, and I wish you a very happy World Plumbing. Thank you. Back to you, Minesh.
Thanks a lot, Gurmeet, for a wonderful speech. Surely, pandemic has taught us a new lesson in life and helped us to live with simplicity, without any luxuries, travels, holidays, socializing, and so on. It has shown us life is important and nothing else. Second most important is water for life. It has also taught IPA that how we can organize our events virtually, and all the chapters has taken this occasion and had planned number of virtual events connecting to large masses. We welcome IPA, we welcome Ms. Madhurima Madhav, scientist, Joint Director, Civil Engineering, BIS. Welcome, ma'am. Now let us move on to our...
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Madhurima ji.
Namaste. Good afternoon.
Now we move on to the next phase of our session, wherein we'll have our different speakers. Today being the World Plumbing Day as well as our Founders Day, I'd like to add a couple of things, 2 lines in Hindi for the next speaker. Before I introduce him, हमारा साहस, हमारी इज्जत, हमारा सम्मान हो आप, हमारी ताकत, हमारी पूंजी, हमारी पहचान हो आप। आईपीए की एक-एक ईंट में शामिल है आपका खून पसीना। हमारे आईपीए की रौनक और शान हो आप बाबा। Is none other than Mr. S.J. Dewlalekar, founder of IPA, who through his initiative in 1993 that plumbing industry solvents bonded together to form a pan-India association in plumbing, which was registered as the Indian Plumbing Association. He was an acting president of IPA till 2006 and is now IPA chairman emeritus. He was instrumental in formation of a COP lab in Pune under the trust Indian Institute of Plumbing, which he formed on 31st of August 2005. He was also associated with National Building Code as a founder member and also with Bureau of Indian Standards. As I said, he is popularly known as Baba among our all plumbing industry professionals. Over to you, Baba, for your blessings and inspiring words.
Minesh, I also understand Dr. Sanjay Pant has also joined us. Welcome, Sanjay
Yes,
Panti. Thank you very much
Sanjay
for
Panji,
joining.
welcome to the event. Welcome to the session, sir. निवेदिता देवला जी का सर है कि नहीं है?
है सर, I will just check with him. I think he's got logged out.
Okay, Minesh, we can go to the next speaker and then come back to SGD later.
Yeah, so what we can do is, in that case, we can just take up the sponsoral presentation. Yes. And then we can take up with Devlalikar sir.
By the time, Nivedita, can you please call Mr. Devlalikar?
Yes, sir.
Any event is not possible without a sponsor, and Mr. Baliga has always been.
I think Devlalikar sir has already joined. He's there.
Okay.
Hello. Yes, hello. Baba.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
We can hear you, sir. You can speak up.
Sir, you can speak now. Devlalikar sir, please.
SGD, you can say speak now.
Yes,
Nivedita, can you just call and let him know?
I suggest you get on the sponsorial, and by the time Nivedita can on it.
Okay, so let us do that.
Please.
I invite Mr. Ramesh Baliga, CEO of WaterTech, to take us through his sponsoral presentation.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Good evening.
Very happy World Plumbing Day and Founders Day. Without wasting much of time, I'd like to invite my partner and my dear friend, Mr. Giacomo from Italy, to give a small presentation on the products which we are going to be introducing in this year. Over to Giacomo, please.
Hello. Good evening again, everyone. I hope you can all hear me. And first of all, I would like to thank the IPA for having organized this nice event. And my thanks goes to Mr. Baliga and the whole WaterTech team as well for having made possible my participation to this event. With the present, I would like to show you how you could save water in when simply flushing your toilet. So I will move to the quick agenda. I will explain you the partnership between us and WaterTech, which kind of products we can offer, how you can save water with our products. So as I said, I called it a strategic partnership between Oli and WaterTech. This is because WaterTech is present on the market, basically in the old market, and it has the possibility of giving the great real after-sales service to all customers across the country. Sorry, come again?
Can everyone be muted?
Can you see my presentation?
Yeah, we can see your presentation.
So Oli is part of a big Italian group which is specialized in all thermohydraulic sectors that has more than 3,300 employees and a turnover that goes over 1 billion euros. With a production facility for Oli only, which is based in Portugal, that has 30,000 square meters. We do produce 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We are specialized in the production of flushing systems. So starting from in-wall systems together with control plates, sanitary modules, exposed plastic systems, and all the internal fittings that can be put into the ceramics for every kind of monoblock. Going into products, we are quite proud of our range of control plates. We can offer a huge range of flashing plates with all different kind of actuations, from mechanic to pneumatic and from electronic to no touch, which became quite important in these pandemic days. For what concern our in-wall systems, we are distributing in India our top-of-the-class product, which is called Oli 74 Plus, and it has a wall range, so for brick walls and floor-mounted brick walls and wall-hang WCs, and for any kind of light walls, from wood to plasterboard to gypsum walls. But the important thing, which is today's topic, is how can we save water by simply flushing our toilet? So we are saving water in 3 different steps. First of all, by using our Other Plus inlet valve. As you probably you all know that the inlet valve is the mechanism that brings water into your system. And by using what we call this Other Plus, we guarantee that you can save half a liter of water on each flush. And I'd like now to show you how you can do. Because if you use a traditional inlet valve, whenever you push, you can see it here from this quick video. Whenever you flush, you push the button, the outlet valve comes up, the water goes down, and at the very same time, the water starts to fill the system. So the first half liter of water goes totally lost because it goes into the tank when the outlet valve is still open. While if you use the Oli 74 Other Plus, we use what is called a delayed filling system. So the water starts to come in only when the outlet valve is totally closed. That means that the very first drop of water that goes into the tank remains into the tank because the outlet valve is already closed. So that's the first way of saving water. Then we give all our customers.
All right. Now it is working. Hopefully. Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello. How it is working?
Yes, sir.
LGD, you have to mute yourself because the sponsorial presentation is going on.
You can continue, Mr. Giacomo.
Can I? Okay, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
I was saying that we give the possibility to all our customers to have the chance to collect water on the ceiling, on the roof of the house, and connect this water to the tank. In this case, you will have 2 inlet valves, and you will use the rainy water until when the tank on the roof will be totally finished, and then you can start using the water from the home network. In this case, if it rains enough to fulfill all your needs, you will save 100% because you will not consume any kind of water in your house, but you will simply use the rainy water that you can collect on the roof. And this is something quite easy, especially during the rainy season in the country. Furthermore, by simply playing on the outlet valve, you can set up 18 different flushing volumes, depending on the quantity of water that you need to clean your WC. Basically, all our system comes as a standard with 6 liters for the full flush and 3 liters for the half flush. But as I said, you can select lower quantities if it is needed, therefore consuming a lower amount of water. Just for your information, in Singapore, to be certified, you need to flush not more than 3.5 and 2 liters. That means that you need to work on the outlet valve. It's something very easy. And by playing on the outlet valve, even if the system is already inside the wall, you can reduce the amount of water that you can use for your flush. And then finally, the same in-wall cistern can be installed into a sanitary module that we call QR Inox. This is basically used for renovation of existing bathrooms and buildings because the in-wall cistern that normally goes inside the wall, in this case, stays inside this tempered glass structure. And you can have easy access to the internal mechanism by simply opening this module. As you can see, at half of it, you have a cut and you can slide the panel towards you, having access to the internal mechanism. These modules, as I said, contains the Oli 74+, so it has the water-saving effect inside, and they are available both for floor-mounted and for wall-hang WCs with a pneumatic activation on the top of it. And they come in different kind of finishes so that you can use them according to your taste and to the rest of your bathroom. And that was it from my side. Thanks again. Any kind of question, please, you can address to me or to Mr. Baliga, and we will be pleased to answer to them. Thank you very much again.
Thanks, Mr. Viola, for a very crisp and informative presentation on your products which you are planning to bring down in India. The flush mechanism or the outlet valve and your double inlet valve for the rainwater, they were good products. We look forward to Mr. Baliga to see so that we can see it in Indian markets.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yep. Hope now Mr. Devlalika SGD has already joined. Nivedita, we can just have him now. Devlalika, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ramesh, you can tell Mr. Vaila to also write an article, technical article on your products. We'll publish it in the Indian Plumbing Today.
Yes, sir.
Since you have
Yes,
been
sir.
always supporting IPA, we will publish this in the IPA.
Thank you, sir. We'll do it.
Thank you very much. I will surely do it. Thanks a lot.
Sir, Minesh sir, I think there is some power outage at his end. So
yeah, I think he's not there now.
Okay. So do we move on to the, shall we move on to the other guest of honor? Mr.
Yes.
Kevin? Can I call upon Narayan Saab to give his introduction? Narayan sir?
Yes, yes. Yeah. Good evening, everybody. It's my privilege and I'm very happy and delighted to introduce my friend, Mr. Kevin. Mr. Kevin is the CEO of CIPHE, Chartered Institute of Plumbing and Heating Engineers, and he has worked with the organization for over 35 years. CIPHE is a chartered body and educational charity with members in some 30 countries. It's also existing in India. He was appointed as CEO in 2011. Mr. Wellman is the founder director of Water Safe Installer Scheme in UK. He is an executive board member of World Plumbing Council since 2013. He advocates the safeguarding water and sanitation systems through competent installers is the vital to all of us. So without wasting much time, I now invite Mr. Kevin to share all of us the experience in the plumbing in these difficult days. Over to you, Mr. Kevin.
Thank you very much indeed for that. Firstly, can I just say happy World Plumbing Day and IPA Founders Day. I do wish you well with your celebrations. Before I commence with a few words, I'd just like to say how highly regarded the IPA is within the World Plumbing Council. The executive board is certainly most grateful for all the help and support given over many, many years. So I bring to you all my thanks and appreciation on behalf of the World Plumbing Council Executive Board. There is no doubt that water is a very precious resource, and water efficiency, as we've heard with a number of presentations and discussions so far this evening, is very important to us all. One particular saying that I have in the UK is that there is a great need for us to use water wisely and save water safely. I think that anything that we can do to ensure that we can have water efficient products without causing any detrimental effect on the plumbing system has got to be very good and certainly welcomed, as far as I can say. Now, we are probably all aware that there are some 330 trillion gallons of water on our planet, and 3% of that is fresh water, of which 10% is frozen. So that really, the remaining 1% of our drinking water is shared amongst what can best be described as a very growing population. There was some suggestion about population earlier, and in 1959, the population was 3 billion. That had grown to 5 billion in 1987, and this month, the world figures are recorded as being 7.9 billion. So again, population is increasing substantially. The water available to us all is not. And so I think that there's a particular message here that anything we can do to save water efficiently and effectively has got to be commended. But we also need to make sure that plumbing systems are installed by competent plumbers. So I put a call out to say, let's all promote and encourage greater recognition for competent plumbers who should get enabled and have access to quality fittings to be able to install water-saving devices and other competent products as well. Just to give you a statistic in the UK again, because when plumbing goes wrong, it can be quite damaging. And as far as the insurance industry is concerned, the UK insurance underwriters pay out on average £1.6 billion in escape of water claims, so waste of water as a result of leakage and such things. The vast majority of those problems are caused by bad workmanship. So again, I'm not saying that any one country is better or worse than others. I just know that if plumbing is not installed properly, there are all sorts of consequences. The other thing essentially here is that COVID has naturally had a major impact on us all, and it will do for the coming months as well. And I produced a document for the UK some months ago called Mitigating the Risk of Building Water Systems, and that's available on the CIPHE website. Now, throughout the pandemic, I've been asked lots of questions about what are the key water safety issues, because water safety is as important as water efficiency in many instances. We're aware that there are many cases of plumbing problems, maybe even resulting in deaths as a result of Legionnaire's disease, of hot water scalding, so and other related issues as well with hygiene and poor sanitation. As far as the building systems are concerned, one of my concerns is that throughout the lockdowns that many countries have had, that has meant that plumbing systems have not been looked at, have been operated, and have not been maintained adequately in many cases. So the first question when people talk to me, they say, well, what are the issues to look for? And it could well be the change in water quality. Certainly when water does become stagnant, then it's a recipe or potential recipe for disaster. The water might have bad taste, it has a strange odor to it, it could be discolored, but essentially, as I alluded to a moment ago, there could be microorganisms through the waterborne system that is created, and then that can create the issues that I've described about Legionella, Legionella pneumophila as such, Pontiac fever, and so on. Again, within the buildings which have been unoccupied, might well be other issues where that the traps to sinks that have actually lost their seal. So you can get problems there as well. So again, looking after a water system in any sort of property, particularly one that has been on lockdown for a period of time, is essential. The other question that I've been asked numerous times is, are there particular buildings which are at risk? Is it only residential or is it only commercial? And by and large, the vast majority of problems would be with the commercial buildings, certainly those with long run the pipework, dead legs, as we tend to call it. But anywhere where you have large storage provision, then that's also a potential area for problem. But nevertheless, as far as other properties are concerned, and using the example of the domestic environment, if you have an elderly person who, prior to the lockdown, moved in with their family, then in another property, then the lockdown has been in place in the UK for quite a number of months. So that means that water systems, even in a domestic environment, have been left unoccupied and unused for many, many weeks, and in some cases, 3 to 4 months. So again, whenever somebody goes back into that environment to test the water or to move back into the property, it is important to just look after the water system and to flush it through properly. And this is where we then say it's a further need to ensure that that work is undertaken by a qualified, competent person, particularly if the property, whether it be commercial or residential, does have solar thermal heating as well, because again, there are different requirements there that the manufacturers may well be insisting upon. I think that all these are just showing once again of the greater need to recognize the value of water, the value of clean water, but also when it comes to safeguarding the water system, in flushing through the system to ensure it is safe, you will have to use some water accordingly. So I try not to use the example of that as being wasting water. It is a question of safeguarding that water supply. You have to do that to ensure that the system is safe and secure. In other instances, for the larger buildings, and it might well be the case that you are working on yourselves quite frequently, is that I do encourage as best as I can water safety plans or water management plans. So there are cases where insurance underwriters may well be insisting on a water safety plan for when a building is recommissioned. Some properties, the insurers have said drain the whole water system, but that can create its own problems again with microbial growth. Other times, the recommendation is to make sure that the system is flushed through on a very regular basis. So again, if it does require chlorination or any form of disinfection, it's essential again to make sure that you are using a competent person with all of that. So the main thing throughout is to mitigate the risk of the building water system, not leave it to the last minute before flushing, but to ensure that there is a regular process of flushing systems through, and essentially to carry out a risk assessment before anybody does reoccupy that particular building or premise. Just to conclude, I'd just like to reiterate a few of the issues that I have raised again, and one would be to ensure that we could all utilize water efficient products. I very much support water efficiency and water labeling. Some countries have mandatory water label schemes, others have voluntary schemes. Whatever it is, I think if we can recognize the manufacturers who are investing considerable sums of time, effort and resource into ensuring we do have water efficient products, then that's something that we should all encourage and support as best as we can. We do need to ensure that such products are installed by competent plumbers, and so any endeavours there to ensure that they are supported via government and anybody else with the relevant training and CPD to support that as well is important. And then I mentioned about the need for water safety plans to just ensure that there is a proper process to record the actual work that's been carried out with regards to maintenance and assessments and so on. The important thing, and it goes back to an issue that Tom Bigley, the chairman of the World Plumbing Council, mentioned earlier, and it is the valuable work that the plumbing industry can play in safeguarding the health welfare of the public. And so the essential thing to conclude, I would just say that, as ever, the one adage we have always believed in is that prevention is indeed better than cure. Thank you.
Thanksgiving, thanks for a wonderful insight. And as you rightly said, that your quote of use water wisely and save water safely, it's a fantastic thing. It's very well said. And what you said is absolutely correct. The wastage due to the lockdown, there has been a lot of water wastages for all the unused building. The stored water had to be discarded off. The plumbing systems had to be thoroughly flushed off. And that has led to a huge water wastages. But again, coming back on track after the lockdown, now reopening of all the countries, now IPA and WPC have a vital role to play on to propagate the message of saving water, water conservation through water efficient products and different other programs, which now we can move on. Now we can move on to the another speaker. Unfortunately, Devlalikar sir cannot join right now because there is an electrical failure at his place. As soon as he joins, we can take up his speech. Meanwhile, we can just proceed with our further speaker. Now, our next speaker is a very well-known personality, Mr. Avinash Mishra. He is presently working as an advisor of Niti Aayog for Water Resources and Land Resources, INB, Culture, Panchayati Raj, Law and Justice Vertical. He is a civil engineering graduate with a master's degree in water resources from IIT Delhi. Mr. Mishra has an experience of 33 years in water resources sector. He has been working in national policy planning, formulation, action plans of the country. He is engaged in development plans, proposals of the state government relating to major mediums and minor irrigation, flood control, drainage, command area development, watershed development, drinking water supply, and sanitation. He is an honorary member of IPA and has been associated in various reports and publications with the government. To name a few, a report of the Irrigation Task Force, a report of groundwater management and ownership, 12th plan document of India relating to water resource sector, report of high-level expert group on water logging in Punjab, roadmap on Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. Before I hand over the mic to Mr. Mishra, I'll just like that I'll say one thing. The mind is like a water. When it's turbulent, it's difficult to handle, but when it's calm, everything becomes clear and easy. So let us calm our minds, clear our thoughts, and listen to our chief guest, Mr. Avinash Mishra. Over to you, Mr. Mishra.
Thank you very much. Good evening to everybody, and my compliments for the World Plumbing Day to all the members. I think this is the high time while we all gathered and discussing on the economic use of water, because that's what is very much required. Of course, India is endowed with a rich diversity of natural resources, water being the most precious among them. Water security, water management, and its development is of immense importance in all walks of human life. Integrated water management is essential for environmental sustenance, sustainable economic development of the country, and for better human life through poverty reduction. India has the largest groundwater. We can't say, of course, the reserve, as well as India is the largest water user in the world, with an estimated usage of around 251 billion cubic meter, which is of a quarter use today in the world. With more than 60% of irrigated agriculture and 85% of drinking water supplies are dependent on it. Groundwater is a vital source for rural areas in India. Reliance of urban and industrial water supplies on groundwater is also becoming increasingly significant in India, through the construction of millions of private wells, there has been a phenomenal growth in the exploitation of groundwater in the last 5 decades. If current trends continue, it is estimated that in next 20 years, about 60% of all India's aquifer will be in a critical condition, and it will be very difficult for us to really provide the water to all these things. So technical solutions are needed for curbing the excess use of groundwater, for curbing the excess use of water, and really to make a systematic use. And the thought process that water is a gift and we can use it the way we like it. Really, this mindset needs to be changed. COVID-19 has become a serious global health concern where water and sanitation services, despite we were not that fully equipped, but still service providers have an important role to play in installing COVID's outbreak into the community. And we could thankfully really restrain it to a great extent. Pandemic has not only increased the demand of water for hand washing, hygiene, as recommended by World Health Organization, but also need to disinfect the physical items in use to reduce the probability of virus spread. This has again caused the tremendous pressure on the use of the water. And this use of the water, as per the UN report on water and jobs, it has been estimated that half of the world workforce, that is about 1.5 billion people, are dependent and employed in one of the 8 water and natural resources dependent industries. They really lost their jobs. So water is not actually impacting directly on the economy in terms of the industrial production, in terms of various other activities, but indirectly also a lot of employment which is there with the water. So finally, we could come to a conclusion that water should be safely and very diligently to be used. As per the Central Pollution Control Board figure, 37% of the wastewater which we are actually collecting and treating. And you know, the remaining water, which is wastewater, which is not treated, flowing down, contaminating the aquifer, contaminating the surface water bodies, contaminating our river system. And finally, when the pressure goes down again to the system, which is really taking the water from these water bodies for providing to industry, for providing to drinking water supply and all other things. So this is what actually is happening, and it needs to be curbed. About 3 billion people, 40% of the world population, lack access to basic hand washing facility in their homes. This is all the number which is there worldwide. And certainly the government of India has taken a great leap in this direction, that we will be providing up to 2024 the complete household connection to the population in the country. As we know, the sanitation coverage is already there. But now we are moving to sanitation plus. That sanitation coverage, the toilet facility will not serve the purpose, but it should also have the water point. So keeping all this in mind, this is very much essential that the water utilities, water systems, and water, the complete plumbing fixtures should be in order. Faulty plumbing system and poorly designed air ventilation system contributed to the spread of SARS epidemic in high-rise building in Hong Kong in 2003, affecting over 300 people. That is there as an example, and to learn that the plumbing should be taken very seriously. Environmentally, it has also been found that 80% of the water which is flowing back into the ecosystem without treating or reused while polluting the water bodies, aggravating the situation of waterborne disease and spread in pandemic. So really what to do? We should come back to the saving of water. Water conservation is not new to the world. However, there is a need to revamp the initiative in reference to the present scenario of water-related problems. Broadly, the focus should be on conserving water at source, augmenting supply source, and integrating technological advances. Right from rainwater harvesting, oldest and well-known method, to conserve water. Legislatively, several state governments have mandated all government institutions, commercial complexes, and residential high-rise building to have rainwater harvesting system. But again, the system should be designed, it should be in such a manner that it can be connected to the water table below, groundwater table below. In majority of the cases, the rainwater harvesting system is just left on the surface, and it is not really yielding the result what it should yield. Similarly, we should also think of the traditional wisdom. The water supply in cities largely depends on river or faraway sources, leading to high distribution and transportation losses. However, most of the Indian cities possess large heritage of traditional lakes, ponds, and if rejuvenated and renovated, and these sources should be located there of the point of supply. It should not lead that for pumping the water, I require kilometers to pump both way. The drinking water supply is also being pumped kilometers, and again the sanitation is again being pumped to kilometers and also being lifted by these pumps, sewerage pumps. So basically, there should be in situ, and we need to really develop such type of system, such type of the plumbing, the equipments and all, that wastewater which is used in the bathroom or kitchen can be used there again. So wastewater, again, urgent need to promote and push the economy to inculcate the habit of reusing, recycling, treating wastewater in the system. A cluster of houses that should be designed in such a manner that there should be two pipe system, and there should be a different supply to the kitchen and to the drinking purpose, and for other there should be separate system, and it should also be treated. Now actually in new habitation, the two pipe system somehow or the other we could inculcate, but this is what it is required. Besides this, wastewater also proved to be a good measure to understand and assess the extent of various other diseases which are spreading, and its analysis is giving a further way forward. Grey water can be reused in gardens with little or no treatment. Reusing treated grey water for toilet flushing can save approximately 50 liters of potable water in an average household every day. Reusing grey water in clothes washer can save approximately 90 liters of potable water in an average household every day. Technological integration for water and sanitation is very much required. We should go for smart water metering. Smart meters record customer water usage, providing a clear picture of water consumption and conveying data to both consumer and utility, allowing for improved water management. Today our municipal bodies, they are the transmission and distribution losses in between 25 to 40%. Then we should have the various water saving technology, install water saving shower heads, low flow shower heads, which is delivering around 2.5 gallons of water per minute, install a high efficiency toilet. I think it has been displayed also with one of our sponsors, but certainly with 1.28 or less gallon of water per flush, using these toilets should be introduced, and it should be really very much required. Install faucet aerators, they are very much required. Automatic soap dispenser are also there. Automatic flushing system means there is a need of almost changing the complete the system of these the plumbing faucets and all these things. Hence, urgent and comprehensive approach is required for complete transformation and renovation of water utilities and related infrastructure through long-term investment in water management, which can also ultimately improve the public health. From the government side, a lot of budget is there. 2.86 crore has been recently announced for urban water supply, 1.41 crore for wastewater treatment of urban, 1.41 crore for the wastewater treatment of rural. I think this is the high time while the plumbing association should come forward with the technological innovations and all these things. Thank you. Thank you very much. Once again, I'll congratulate every member of the Indian Plumbing Association for World Plumbing Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Avinash ji, for a wonderful insight on your experiences. You had, whatever you said was perfectly fine. This 20-second hand wash as per WHO guideline has impacted the resources of all the local governments, all the local municipalities a lot, and has put the system under a lot of pressure. What you said, around 37% of wastewater collected is only treated and reused, and rest of 73% water has been connected to the groundwater aquifers, which is leading to a great pollution of our resources. That has to be curbed out, and surely government has to come out with some resources so that it makes mandatory for the end users or the industrials to treat the water and reuse at their own premises. In Gujarat, dual flushing has become mandatory since last 3 years, and it has been enforced upon in all the projects. That's a good thing. That's one of the points which you highlighted. You also highlighted on your grey water reuse, smart water metering. Those are the need of an hour, and every project should follow this to make our country a water surplus nation. Let us move on to the next topic. I think Mr. Devlalikar is already connected. Can we just check, Nivedita?
Yes, he is there.
So he is connected. I can see a Minesh. We'll have STD come on now.
Okay, yes, so let us have Baba to share his blessing and inspiration. Devlalikar sir.
Please unmute SGD, please.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you very much. And my greetings to all the members of the community on this World Plumbing Day, as well as the Founders Day of Indian Plumbing. It is exactly 27 years ago that we founded this Indian Plumbing Association. As all you know, I'm the oldest horse alive in the plumbing community, having been in the business for 66 years after graduation from VJTI. I've been working in Delhi from the start of my career, and I had the opportunity to come to know all the major people in plumbing and in architecture in Delhi as well as in other cities. So that has given me an exposure to the various types of people, vendors, contractors, architects, and all that. It was in 90s that we received an invitation from World Plumbing Council in England, where the last conference was held, to participate in Hong Kong, 1993. So we convened a meeting among my own friends of the plumbing community in 1993. And we had a meeting and we decided to have a Indian Plumbing Conference. That time, things are not so liberal as they are today. In fact, getting a passport took as much as 3 to 6 months. Getting foreign exchange, was a big problem. Many members could not join because of this shortage of time. But anyway, we have about 30 people joined and we formed the association. And in the initial stages, because of only voluntary contribution from our men who are also present in this meeting also, one of the founder members, we used to contribute from our own pocket and started something. I must say, to the credit of our past president, Sudhakaran Nair, who took over sometime in 2004 or something, that things had also opened out in the market. And with his dynamism, which I don't have, he was able to collect a lot of people. And after that, you have seen, I'm very happy that we have got 5,000 members and I don't know how many, 20, 25 chapters. And we are speaking in almost every language in India. And there is a lot of progress. Now, I want to highlight 2-3 things which Indian plumbing today has done. So far they have done is to spread the need for plumbing, propagation of plumbing and its aims. I have always said that the plumber is the first soldier in the defense against poor health or hygiene. And I think our president also said the same thing in his speech. So, in fact, this war has not yet begun, because I want to say 2-3 things. We are doing good plumbing, water supply, and all that. Yet, first thing is piped water supply is not getting the intention, the importance it deserves. This is supply water by tankers, by local wells and all that. Now, piped water supply is the first defense against disease. So now the government is now saying that every village should have water supply. And our association, including myself, we are all in support of it, because piped water supply is the most protected water supply. Second is the danger of infection or a contamination. This is the biggest danger in plumbing. You may provide piped water supply, but if the water is contaminated, then all your efforts go waste. So this is a thing which our direction of plumbing, which I'm taking, should take into account, that contamination hazards have to be eliminated, if not minimized. One single bacteria can wipe off a whole village. So you must emphasize that any supply, giving water supply to some, because just now Nitesh Shah mentioned about dual water supply. I have my own experiences of dual water supply for the last 30 years. We have used dual water supply
I think net is slow there, I think.
Yeah, some issue with the internet.
Yes, yes.
Let us wait for 30 seconds, Vinesh, at least.
Yeah.
It reconnects, no, sometimes.
Yeah.
Till he reconnects, let me tell you, Mr. Devlalikar is 91 years now, and his membership number is number 1 of IPA. He is the founder member and the founder of IPA and the Indian Institute of Plumbing.
I think we have lost him.
Yeah, he's got disconnected. I can't see him.
No, I can't see him.
It was a pleasure hearing him after many years.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
I think we can start.
Yes.
We can move ahead with the other program.
Please.
Okay. So now we move on to the next program. That is, okay. After a successful launch in 2020, IPA launched its BA Water Crusader social media contest even this year, and it lasted for 9 days, starting from 26th February to 6th of March as a part of I Save Water initiative. In this contest, all netizens and social media users were to share their content related to water conservation and save water through pictures, videos, or text. It was to be shared on IPA's Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter medias. And they had to use a hashtag Be a Water Crusader or hashtag World Plumbing Day. The winners of this contest were to be given cash prizes of 5,000 rupees, 3,000 rupees, and 2,000 rupees. The first, second, and third number.
5 लाख का एक पंप.
Sapan, you have to mute yourself, please.
Sapan, can you mute? So let us take you through a small 2-minute video on how this BA Water Crusader event had gone through. Sushant, can you just screen the video?
I hope it is fine.
Yes, it's visible.
Thanks, Sushant.
Just one thing I would like to add here is that we've been, even after the completion of the contest period, we have been receiving a lot of entries. So since the contest period has ended, we would not be able to consider them as a part of the contest, but they would be published and certificates would be awarded to all the people who have given their entries in the contest.
Okay, that's a nice
Also,
gesture.
Minesh, I would also like to add, with your permission, all the cartoons are made by Mr. Subhash Deshpande, our chief painter of IPA. Thank you so much for all the cartoons.
Thank you, Subhash sir. Now, with the end of this BA Water Crusader event, we have the results in place. So I would request our chief guest, Mr. Avinash Mishra ji, to declare the results.
Okay.
Shant, can you please put up the first screen?
Can everyone be muted, please? Please mute your microphones. Avinash ji.
Okay, so this is the second runner-up cash reward of rupees 2,000 to Miss Amita from Mumbai multiple entries on Twitter. So I think she should be given applause. And first runner-up cash reward of rupees 3,000. This goes to Mr. Manoj Kumar, Medak, Hyderabad. Multiple entries on Facebook and Twitter. Again, a big applause. Then first award, that is winner cash reward of rupees 5,000 to Karthik S. Bengaluru, entry on Facebook and Twitter. Congratulations, Mr. Karthik.
Thank you, Avinash sir, and congratulations to all the three winners. Now it's time to move on for some IPA actions, wherein I'll bring across our Bengaluru chapter chairman. Wherein I'll bring across Bengaluru chapter chairman, DOP Prasad Kumar, who is the convener for Center of Excellence. DOPK, can you just take it up?
Mr. Jolalikar is back, Mr. Minesh.
I think he's just back again.
Is he back?
If you allow him, with your permission, if you can allow him to finish.
Yeah, so we can take up the Jolalikas first, and then DOPK can
please
come up with the Center of Excellence.
Thank you.
Because that is what is giving mileage from SGD for all the actions. Exactly. He need to be given first chance.
Yes, we need his blessings first.
Yeah, blessings only, yes.
Yes. SGD, please carry on, sir.
No, I'm sorry, yaar. There is a major crisis in Delhi that there is no water. The power supply is messy. Now internet is also banned. SMS and all OTTs were banned for last 4 or 5 days. Anyway, I was talking about this contamination hazard. We are giving emphasis on dual water supply, rainwater harvesting. There are many diseases which all of us, people in India, are exposed to, which are unknown to us. We don't know if I got a little shortness of breath or coughing. It may be due to the contamination which I am subjected to from various things. So this is my second point to my friends in the plumbing industry. The third point I want to raise that we have seen a lot of imported plumbing system coming from Europe and Vega, Gabriel and all that. I have used this system 50 years back from Zern, Blossom, an American company. Now there is a very big emphasis, and rightly so, by the government of India for low-cost housing. And now our industry should bring out pre-planned, plumbing system, which can be used in small houses without too much of labor-intensive and breaking of wall situation in the low-cost housing. It will reduce the cost, it will improve the quality of work, and in most common problems in the low-cost housing is too much of leakage because of bad workmanship, bad plumbing, and so on and so forth. So this has to be reduced to the minimum. And of course, the chasing of these are the innovations which are the third was actually something which I'm seeing, that we have plumbing, various courses being given and a certificate handed out after attending 1 day or 2 days seminar. That is not education. That is not a qualified plumber. You have attended a course, that is okay. But for a worldwide, you go to the most advanced country, a plumber has to be educated for 2 to 2.5 years after high school. So we have to propagate the quality of education in a proper manner, like they have done it in Australia, New Zealand, Hong Kong. I had the fortunate to study all this in detail. And you have to train the plumber the right way. We have our friends who have started the Indian plumbing skill. They make the person attend for 2 days and give him a certificate. He is not a licensed plumber. So licensing of plumbers, licensing of drainage, licensing of welders, something of a safety for both, for the consumer as well as for the welder himself and the user at the building. I've seen fires taking place while welding in the building. So similarly, in the plumbing itself, below the engineer's level, there are 5 to 6 trades. There are drain layers, there are welders, there are pipe people, copper pipe people. Our president knows, he is expert on copper piping. And you know that a man, normal plumber cannot do copper piping without proper training and use of proper welding material. So these certifications should be given with some proper qualified people which are internationally known. Then these people will also get employed in Middle East. Similarly, even a draftsman, plumbing draftsman is a different draftsman from another. So all these courses have to be, I have propagated it and need to be required. So these are the few of my suggestions for the development of Indian future course of IPA. IPA has done most wonderful work. They have almost now 4 or 5 plumbing laboratories of world class. I'm very happy to see people taking interest in getting the labs. The next step for the plumbing lab, in my recommendation, is to enable young engineers to hold experiments, scientific research experiments in the flow of water, flow of pipes, how the pipe behaves, how the air behaves, and so on and so forth. So these are a few of my old wisdom of a 90-year-old horse in plumbing. And I hope that you will take it with the seriousness with which I have made. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Baba. Thank you for blessing us, Baba. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Devlalika sir, for your wonderful blessings and your inspiring words. And what you have said rightly, we have noted it down, and we'll look forward to carry forward your suggestions in the best possible way through IPA. And your point very well taken about training of plumbers and licensed plumbers. I mean, there has to be this initiative has to come from the government, from the state government or the local government, wherein the plumbers should be given the licenses and only the licensed plumbers should be allowed to work. Only then we'll be able to create a society wherein we can look for a good plumbing, a good bathrooms or a good system being designed are executed at a grassroots level. Thanks, sir. Thanks a lot for your wonderful words.
Thank you. Thank you. Add the word safe along with good plumbing.
Yes, sir. That's true. That is very true. That is very true. And to add on to what you said on the low-cost housing, the pre-planned plumbing, I'll just add on, sir. We have the pod plumbing toilets, the pod toilets, which have come up in Pune, and many projects they have been using this toilets, and they can surely be used for the low-cost toilets. They can be Can the audio be muted, please?
No.
Those pod toilets from Pune can be used for the low-cost housing, and they can be a very good solution for what you said, sir.
Okay. Welcome. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Now we can move on to BOP Prasanna Kumar for his presentation on Center of Excellence He'll be giving us an overview on the actions taken so far. BOP. BOP, you need to unmute yourself.
Yeah.
BOPK is our chairman of our Bengaluru chapter. Chairman, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, and wish you very happy World Plumbing Day. Now, after hearing SGD, probably his speech was predicted by our Gurmiji much before the things can happen, and he initiated in his vision document 2021 many things. Is one of the major thing which he has highlighted was on the center of excellence. We have to go a long way, because after hearing SGD now, what we are doing is on the tip of the iceberg, and which we need to do, because it itself is a very certified thing. Is just not on the piece of paper, but rather it should be implementable. The people who are graduating through these courses, understanding the plumbing in totality, no matter how expensive material you use to build the houses, it is no use if the plumber is unskilled. That is what the bottom line SGD has made. Sir, with your blessing, definitely we'll take it to different heights now. And also we are keeping our mind open. That is one proverb, it says you should have proper drainage in your house and in your mind. Then you will concentrate much better. That is, with this we have started a small initiation towards the center of excellence, and created different kind of courses. Basically, since we don't want to redefine anything which is already existing, which was created by since Mr. SCD's time till now, last 28 years, with different codes and standards, with the association of IAPMO. So many codes are developed. So our first part of the academic courses, which IPA will going to roll out, is Plumbing Design Engineering course. That is PDE course. Basically, everyone is having a uniform illustrated plumbing code or our national building code. How many are equipped and interpreting that code as and when is required in the design? That is where the things are lacking, and we are taking these books as the base material, these courses as the base material, and rolling out the courses. At the end of the course, you will be tested also whether the learning has been done or not. So this is the one of the kind of its course which probably we are not reinventing the wheel, which already invented wheel is rolled properly onto the designer's mind, and we are taking it further, sir. On the next course is PPD course, that is Plumbing Professional Development, where the second part of the course, where many things which are not covered. For example, SCD Saab has just now highlighted the prefab toilet. Prefab toilet should not be left to the assumption of individuals. Rather, it is being taught how to lay prefab system, understand first, and given the importance of laying that, and also fix the economics of laying the things, make the correct plumbing into that. So like that, there is another area, hydroinformatics, which probably no code is covering except on some UK codes, which are covering as hydroinformatics, which is highlighting the saving of water, using of water, measuring of water. This is not available with us presently. So these comes under plumbing professional development courses. And lastly, but it is not the least, because if not plumbers are taught well, our world would lost its beauty as of now. So there is some learning already with the plumbers, but it has to be refreshed, in line with the codes and standards which are developed by us in IPA in association with IAPMO. So these are all for the apprentice plumber, head plumber, and master plumber. It is not working on superficial basis. It requires investment as well as the lab facility to show exact working and the skill development of each people. It is definitely not for just for certification. It is equipping the people. So these are the 3 courses which we are envisaging and rolling out these courses, sir. And the small team is done now. Now we need to rush into the action, which is not started as yet. We will roll out in a couple of months, at least with the first portion of the course, the plumbing design engineering course, which may not be requiring much of the infrastructure. And thank you very much. We thank for the new plumbing system that is through the Center of Excellence. Thank you very much, and happy World Plumbing Day to you all.
Thanks a lot, BOP, for an overview on the Center of Excellence and IPA initiative. Now we move on to the second IPA initiative, a very successful format, IPPL, which has been done last year on a virtual format. And again, after the success, we'll be doing that 2021 again in a virtual format. So I'll invite IPA Pune Chapter Chairman and National Convener IPPL, Praveen Bora, to give us an overview of the 2021 IPPL. Praveen Bora.
Good evening to everybody. Happy World Plumbing Day. Can you play the video, Sushant?
Yes.
Happy World Plumbing Day, Mr. Avinash Mehraji, Mr. Kevin Wellman, Baba, as we called fondly our Mr. Devlalika, NEB members, my colleagues at the NEC, all chapter chair executives. Greetings to all for the WPD and Founders Day celebrations. Between 2020 WPD and 2021 WPD, we have had the pandemic ravaging through our society and our lives. The focus came on to health and hygiene. IPA through its webinars has already actively contributed to knowledge sharing through IPPL. A league of knowledge, ideas, technology, practical applications and approach to plumbing. 2020 has been a grand success for IPPL, and which you can see you have seen in the last video. We have received encouraging support from all the supporting organizations, CREDA and AREDCO, IIID, BAI, FSCI, ISHRE. I thank all of them for it. The support from our sponsors has been more encouraging because during these pandemic times, they came forward to support us in our IPPL initiative. 2021 will be a much larger and grander affair. We would attempt to reach 200 cities of India. More participation from smaller centers of India. With your numerous suggestions and ideas, we are restructuring IPPL and are going to be back. The IPPL will be conducted starting from August. I look forward to a successful 2021 IPPL with your support and energy. And I'm sure a lot of vaccination will be there amongst our team members. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Praveen Bora, your figures for 2021 are missing. I want minimum 2,000 participants.
Sir, that is why we are targeting.
No, but I wanted the commitment on your movie. Your video is blank on 2021, which is not acceptable.
Yes, sir. We will attempt to reach, in fact, cross 2,000 because looking at the success of 2020 and how people have participated in IPPL, used the remote virtual mode to their advantage, I think we will have more participation this year.
Yes, we have recorded your statement, by the way, today.
Yes,
thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. Please, Minesh.
Thanks, Praveen, for an update on the IPPL 2021.
Yeah.
Now we are moving on towards our last phase. I'd like to thank, first of all, to Mr. Kevin and Avinash Mishra sir for their wonderful thoughts on today's topic and the inspiring words and suggestions by Mr. Devlalika sir, Baba. Before I hand over the mic for the vote of thanks, I like to say that water is undoubtedly the sacred gift of nature, and we should all ensure that it is used wisely. No matter you are rich or poor, water is a necessity for you. Saving water is not the responsibility of only you or me for the sake of any single individual, but on the contrary, saving water is a national cause and should be a common practice. To conclude, I would just like to add that when you are thirsty, you do not reach for any other beverage or a treasure, but only water. This itself is enough to explain why we need to save water. I invite IPA National Secretary C.S. Gupta sir for a vote of thanks.
Mr. Sir,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gupta, sir, I would like to add a few things on behalf of Bureau of Indian Standards regarding the work which we have been doing here in BIS. So
Yes, ma'am.
thank you very much for inviting me as a panelist to this webinar. It is indeed a privilege to see and hear Devlalika Sahab. Had always heard about him, and he had in fact made very good points which I have also noted for my technical committee to consider, particularly regarding the low cost plumbing system for the low cost housing. Well, I would like to add that the concerned technical committees here in BIS, we have IPA as a member on all the committees, be it sanitary appliances and water fittings or public health engineering. and the plastic piping system. And we are also working very hard here in BIS to come out with the standards on the water efficient plumbing products. We recently had a meeting of the concerned technical panel where we had already made the recommendations. We received a lot of comments on those two documents for water efficient plumbing products, and in the process we are also revising the various sanitary fittings and water fitting standards, be it for the inlet valve or the outlet beta valves, or the cisterns, flushing cisterns. In fact, long time back, we had amended the standard to have only dual flushing cisterns. And in the process, I would request IPA, like some of our standards which are under revision, they are still open for the public comments. So I request IPA for their considered decision and views on these documents, the standard for the urinals and the standard for the beta flow walls and the taps, in which we have included the provisions for single lever taps, single lever mixers. So we request IPA to send their considered views and comments, because in March end, we are going to have the technical committee meeting wherein all these standards will get finalized for publication. So it is a request to IPA for their continued support and coordination with BIS. Thank you.
Thanks,
We will
Madhurima.
do so, Madhura. We will do so, don't worry.
Yeah, we'll sure be doing that. Thanks, Madhurima ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Friends, today is another red letter day in the history of the IPA, because we are celebrating Founders Day for the first time. Of course, World Plumbing Day we are celebrating from 2010. It was a delight to hear today's chief guest, Avinash Mishra ji, Mr. Kelvin and Mr. SGD, all really provoked us with their thoughts, with their vision, with their deliberation. And I'm sure a lot of us will take inspiration from these things, and we will plan on that. My thanks to my dear Rahul Dharpale, Joint Secretary, along with his team, and also to all chapter chairs, NEC members and their teams who hold the language seminar in different languages over a period of 10 days. And my thanks also to the participants of the VA Water Crusader. Winners have been the winners' name have been declared today, and their prize will follow. Before I end my formal thanks, vote of thanks, just take two things from today's deliberation. Save water, as water does not grow on trees, and plumbers protect the health of the nation. With these words, thank you very much. Our attendance has been approximately 500 over YouTube and Facebook and on the webinar. See you soon in our next program. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Fiyazi.
Thank you.